Hello again, everyone. Welcome to part 3 of my video lessons, finding free resources to use in your digital stories. And I use two very well-known websites, and we're going to look at them today, and I'll take you through the process of downloading materials and incorporating them into your Adobe Illustrator workspace. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first website I want to show you all is called Pexels, and you can get high resolution photographs, high resolution videos. It's very amazing. And that's one thing I have to caution all of you about, is to look at the resources and materials, whether they're font, whether they're photographs, or any type of like clip art or illustration. Make sure you have the rights to use them and read the licensing, because if you somehow find a free resource, it might be free but with some stipulations. For example, it would say something like free for non-commercial use, which is essentially free for any use, like in a classroom where you don't have the intention of making money or profit off of any of the materials that you create. So if you wanted to go ahead and professionally publish a book and then sell it, chances are you would need to buy the actual licensing to use that graphic in what is called a commercial. So there's two different categories. Typically, I don't know if there's any more, but in my experience, there's free for non-commercial and or free for commercial. So commercial is like if you wanted to make a t-shirt, or if you wanted to use it on a website, use it in a book. Free for commercial is basically that field. And then the websites that I'm showing you, especially Pexels, anything you use is free for commercial or non-commercial use. To save yourself from any, and this is the worst case scenario, to save yourself from any like copyright infringement lawsuit, I just want to very much tell you all and encourage you all to make sure you read licensing. For example, looking on this website up here, you can read the license for using their materials and stuff from their website. So, okay, enough talking about all that. We're going to look at some photographs, and you can type in your own. I'm just going to go ahead and hit ocean. So ocean essentially brings up ocean typed stuff. It also brings up subcategories that you can look at. Let's go ahead and look at fish. Let's say I like this picture of the clownfish, and you could easily just go up here and hit free download. Sometimes you will be required to sign into your account. I believe I'm signed in through my Gmail account. It is free. There's no cost whatsoever to use these websites. If you click this little drop-down menu, oops, okay, let me back out. It's acting crazy. You hover, you don't have to click it, you hover over the little drop down. You can check out the different sizes. I usually just always hit free download without really looking at the size, the resolution. So these are really high resolution photographs, so there's no need to worry. I'm going to go ahead and click, I'm going to hit nature and see what happens. Click the first graphic. And that's as easy as that gets. So look through the photographs. You can look through the videos. How you get access to the videos is you go up here and you hover over videos and then click on it. Some have sound, some don't. So if you guys are going to make digital stories with videos, this is where you would find high resolution video footage for free. So jumping over to the next site, Pixibay. Pixibay is unique in that it also offers vector illustrations free for download. You will have to sign up for an account. Again, just use your Gmail account or any type of account. It is free, like Pexels, no cost to use these materials. So go ahead and go to this drop-down menu and hover over vector graphics and click it. We are going to click buffalo. And so it comes up with all of these vector graphics. If you want to explore photographs, and I found that Pexels actually has a lot of the same photographs that Pixibay has, so wherever you are happy and comfortable with finding resources, you can also find videos. So videos, illustrations, vector graphics, and photos. Let's just say I like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over here and hit free download. This is the one where you have to pay attention exactly what you're downloading. You can download the PNG file, which is just a pixelated version with a transparent background. But I want you to click on vector graphic, which is the SVG file, and hit download. I also have to caution, these right here are for sale. Do not click any of these that are under this photograph, and under any other photograph you will have to pay for them. Everything over here on your guys' right, these are from Pixibay and therefore are free. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to click a few more and just download. I like this guy and I'm going to hit free download, go down to vector graphic. I like these little sheep here, I'm going to click on that, hit vector graphic and download. So easy as that. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. So going over to my downloads folder. This is the one thing about downloading vector graphics. They will show up in these kind of weird, funky icons and they won't exactly show you. The nice thing about Illustrator is you can just drag and drop a lot of these into Adobe Illustrator and it will open. So I'm going to go ahead and open my Adobe Illustrator file. And I'm going to make this smaller. And I'm going to go over here to my blank artboard, which is just a blank white canvas. And to show you how easy it is with photographs, so I'm going to grab this landscape and I'm going to just drag and drop. Oops, I'm dragging in a lock layer. This I'm doing for later, so pretend that doesn't exist, that layer. So clicking in a layer that is not locked, I'm just going to go ahead and click my photograph in my downloads folder and then drag and drop. So let me make this large again, full screen, so you can see it. Most of these photographs are very large in size, so again, Control minus or Command minus, depending on which type of computer you are using, and then you resize as such. To prevent skewing, which is like this, again, hold your Shift key. So hold Shift and then resize it to the appropriate size and then drag it onto your artboard. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in by hitting Control plus or Command plus if you're on a Mac. So here we go. Say easy as that. Download it from Pexels, drag and drop. Use any and all of these materials at your disposal. If you're using them for a story, if you're using them for curriculum, it is a very, very significant and amazing resource. So now that we know how to drag photographs into Illustrator, let's go ahead and explore dragging SVG files, which are vector files. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the first bison picture. No, let's drag the sheep. So you can just go ahead and click and drag. So what's going to happen with SVG files is that they're going to open in their own document. So they're separated from where we were creating. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So what you want to do is click and drag and go up to Edit, Copy, and then go over to the document that you were working and just go down to Edit, Paste. So now that we have our little sheep, we can edit them as we see fit. And again, to prevent skewing, go ahead and hit the Shift key, and so you can resize in any shape or form. So I dragged a photograph and I dragged a vector graphic, and some of you may be asking, well, what's the difference between a vector and a pixel, or aka a raster graphic? So pixel and rasters are synonymous basically in design world. So what's going to happen when I zoom in very close to this photograph, you're going to notice pixels, which are little square bits of information that when put together, they create a graphic. So let's go ahead and zoom in very close to this photograph and you will see what I'm talking about. So let me get somewhere up here so you can kind of see. Okay, never mind. So see, the more I zoom in, you'll notice that there's these little squares, and then the further you zoom in, the bigger the squares. So that is a raster graphic. These are typically JPEGs and PNG files. So those are typically what photographs are. So what happens when we zoom in on a vector graphic? Well, let me show you. So let's zoom in on the face. You're going to notice how sharp the lines are, how sharp the color is. And although you can see some of the gradient lines, we could blow this picture up pretty large, and you're going to notice how sharp everything will remain. And that's the nice thing about vector graphics, and I encourage people to use vector graphics because sometimes you get in those situations where, oh no, I need to resize my artwork to be in a larger format, a larger document, and you could easily do that with a vector. With a JPEG, unless it's a high resolution, you're not going to get very clean line work or colors. I'm going to zoom out very quick. And I'll go over and do the same example. So let me zoom in on my star, and you guys will see that if we zoom in all the way, it won't. You'll notice how sharp everything is from the colors to the lines. And so that's what sets both of them apart. So I've done enough talking in this video for sure. We have a lot more to cover. So that's how you find free resources. I encourage you to use Pexels and Pixibay. Even look at their videos and what they have to offer. Click and drag and drop once they're downloaded, and that is all there is to it. And this is how you can create your own stories without ever really needing to draw. So it's a very powerful resource, and I encourage you all to use it. With that, I will see you in part 4 of this lesson series.